Nicolas Flamel, a well-known alchemist and only known maker of the Philosopher's Stone, which, as many of you know, is a legendary substance with incredible powers. He was a close friend and partner with former Hogwarts school headmaster Albus Dumbledore. Most notably, besides creating the stone, was the fact that Nicolas was over 690 years of age as of the year 1992, before finally surrendering the stone at will and with his blessing to Dumbledore to be destroyed. Now, I've always wondered just how effective the Elixir of Life was, how did it work, and how it sustained the person way beyond their normal lifespan. So if you are like me and found yourself quite shocked at simply how frail Flamel appeared in the latest Fantastic Beasts trailer, to be honest, it actually disappointed me. So what was going on with Nicolas Flamel? Why did he appear so frail? Well, in this video I'm going to look at the following. We're going to take a look at his life, we're going to look at the creation of the Philosopher's Stone, and I'm going to give a detailed theory on the Elixir of Life itself. So let's go ahead and take a look. So, in his youth, Nicolas attended Beauxbatons Academy of Magic in the Pyrenees Mountains of France. And firstly, I'm just going to stop there and say it's pronounced Beauxbatons, not Beauxbaton. So for all the common warriors, just letting you know in advance, it's incorrectly pronounced in the movie. Anyway, back on topic. So it was at Beauxbatons that he met Perinelle, his future wife. And it is said that he later funded both the castle and the grounds, and a fountain on the grounds was named after the couple. So Flamel was extremely studious in his schooling days, and it's noted that he became an alchemist of considerable talent and was also an opera lover. And while he enjoyed his early years, he always applied himself, and it was at some point that he created the Philosopher's Stone, possibly while he was relatively young, perhaps late 20s or early 30s. So the Philosopher's Stone, as we know, is an incredibly powerful object that has two functions. It's capable of turning any metal into gold, gold being the most precious metal in existence. Its value is always increasing, it's very rare, and it's extremely difficult to mine. You just have to watch a single episode of Gold Rush on Discovery to see just how much goes wrong. But anyway, back to topic. Now, in addition to being able to turn any metal into gold, the stone can also do one more thing. It can generate the Elixir of Life, a special concoction that apparently stops the aging process. Or does it really? How it's made is unknown, but if I could guess personally, I would say it's shavings from the surface of the stone, ground down, and mixed with either clear alcohol or water for the person to drink. However, after seeing Nicolas Flamel in the trailer of Fantastic Beasts, I was really and genuinely surprised at such a poor quality of life he led. The man was literally like a walking pile of dust, ready to disintegrate at any moment, which makes me wonder, is the elixir all it's hyped up to be? Well, let's look at the stone first. It's an incredible piece of engineering, but that's simply all it is, an engineered creation. It's not unique, or ideally special, as the methods used to create the stone can be repeated. It's just a process of doing it. For all we know, Nicolas could have made several Philosopher's Stones if he pleased. The stone was nothing more than a recipe, and it's an imperfect recipe if you ask me. Now, don't get me wrong, to prolong life past a human lifespan is possibly the greatest achievement in the history of mankind, in my own opinion, but I also believe the stone appears to have its flaws. Let me explain. Let's take the stone for a minute. Okay, it turns any metal into gold, and I can't fault that. In fact, this is absolutely incredible. No flaws there. It makes you rich, and while money doesn't grant happiness, it certainly makes life a lot easier. So, for that part of the stone, I have no faults. Gold is good. However, and this is a big however, it's the elixir that concerns me, and here's why. The human body, muggle or magical, has a lifespan. Death is part of life. We are simply not built to last forever. The average lifespan of a human being has increased, yes, that's true, but after a certain age, our quality of life deteriorates, even if our health doesn't. Basically, we can't do the things at age 80 that we could even do at 40. and some people would consider 40 to be pushing it on age anyway. Our bones stiffen, our muscles weaken, and so on. The elixir seems to address several things, but sadly not them all. For example, Nicolas appears to have a proper and stable brain function. He can talk, he can hold conversations, and appears mentally sound of mind. But his physical state appears so poor, so bad. In my opinion, it's not even a good quality of life. It appears as if it's just a half-life. It's like he's alive, but is he really? He seems to be awake and conscious, but he can hardly walk or move, and he seems to be in discomfort and pain. Jacob Kowalski gives him the lightest handshake, and it appears as if he breaks bones in Flamel's hand, or cracks them or something. Doesn't this term, half-life, seem like a fitting explanation of Flamel's state in the trailer? And can any of you remember the last time you heard the term half-life? I can tell you, it was when Firenze the Centaur informed Harry of the dangers of drinking unicorn blood. Now, let's hang on for a second, let's not jump the gun. I'm getting to the point here now, but it does involve unicorn blood. So, it's my belief that Nicolas, being an alchemist of immense skill, extracted the life-sustaining properties of unicorn blood while combining it with other chemicals of his own creation. Unicorns are pure, beautiful creatures, so I also believe that their blood would be sweet or aromatic, as an elixir is defined as such a description. Now, I understand it may seem slightly out there or far-fetched, but it makes sense to me. Nicolas and his wife's lives are just prolonged. They are not truly immortal. The aging process is not stopped. It's just slowed down to a minuscule fraction of what the average aging speed is. How else would that explain the extreme frailty of Nicolas in the movie? Bear in mind, J.K. Rowling wrote the story and would have approved the appearance and portrayal of Flamel in such a weakened state. It appears to me that Flamel enjoyed the benefits of the elixir in his younger years, and I'm talking maybe 150 to 200 years old, while appearing nothing more than 50 to 60 years of age. But at close to 700 years old, guys, 700 years old, a human body, he had the drastically aged ghost-like appearance of perhaps a 200-year-old magical-blooded man. Don't forget that wizards live longer than muggles, which brings me to another wizard, Albus Dumbledore. Now, it's said that Albus Dumbledore and Nicolas Flamel had been friends for quite some time, but the question is, how did they meet? Perhaps they are introduced during Flamel's visit to Hogwarts, but now you're probably thinking, well, why would Nicolas Flamel be visiting Hogwarts? He's based in France. Well, there happens to be another wizard who lived a drastically long life, and that man was Armando Dippet, the Hogwarts headmaster, while Dumbledore was just a teacher. Now, the surname Dippet or Dippet, from my research, bear in mind I searched this up myself, is most likely of Spanish or French origin, and what man has been born and raised in France? Nicolas Flamel, creator of the Philosopher's Stone. So guys, could it be possible that Armando Dippet and Nicolas Flamel had connections from centuries back, as they both have French origins, and it was Nicolas who provided Armando with his own concoction of the Elixir of Life to prolong the headmaster's aging to that of 355 years old, when finally the headmaster decided that he wished to pass on after a long and fruitful life. Even by wizarding standards, 355 years of age was almost unheard of. It was possibly through this relationship that Flamel and Dumbledore became friends and partners in alchemy studies. And everyone, I'll leave you with this because it crossed my mind as I was finishing writing. Nicolas Flamel and Voldemort also had something in common. They both feared death. Nicolas to the point of living like a statuesque skeleton, and Voldemort to the point of creating Horcruxes. However, while Flamel gained the courage to give up his life-sustaining elixir and accept death, Voldemort simply could not. Everyone, let me know what you think in the comment section below. This theory just popped into my head last night and I've been up all night writing it, so let me know what you think in the comment section below. And that is all for today's video, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Please consider subscribing to the channel if it is your first time watching. And if you're a fan of the channel and feel like you'd like to contribute, my restructured Patreon account is up and running, and in exchange for your contribution of a minimum of $1 a month, there are many rewards you can receive, like suggesting one of my upcoming videos, exclusive Patreon only videos for you to watch, and even one-to-one Skype calls where we can hang out and talk everything Harry Potter or anything in general. So please make sure to check out some of my other videos on the left hand side of the screen. My second channel, Game of Thrones Lore, is on the right hand side of the screen. And if you want to check out some merch, I've got a merch store on the bottom right, or you can click the link in the description below. Thanks again everyone, and I hope you all have a great day.